Hey Brightsiders, how many of these things do you really know the meaning of? Let's see how you go. On the back of most beauty products, you'll find a small open jar symbol that's there to show you the useful lifetime of the item. For example, 2M means 2 months. 30M is 30 months after opening. I always thought those were for how many uses you get out of the product. Whoops. I don't know how this one was found out, but Nintendo Switch cartridges have a hidden safety function and it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. Although non-toxic, the natonium benzoate coats the cartridge in a sour, peppery and bitter substance to prevent people from swallowing them. Being one of the most bitter flavors known to humanity, it's commonly used to keep people from consuming things they're not meant to. Honestly, who found this out? Those different colored bread tags use a color-coded system to show the day that they were baked on. They're usually blue tags for Mondays, green tags Tuesdays, red tags Thursdays, white tags Fridays, and yellow tags for Saturdays. Apparently, no bread is baked on a Sunday. German chocolate cake is one of the most delicious cakes out there, but its name has nothing to do with the country at all. Named after an American baker named Samuel German, who made the tasty treat in 1852. All I know is that it's delightful, and no, you can't have a piece. Sports drinks seem to be the most prized possession of sports people. All those bright-colored drinks filled with electrolytes will increase performance and rehydrate you fast. The problem is, we're not all athletes. Your exercise habits, the duration and intensity of your training all come into whether you need that extra boost. I guess I'll just stick to water then? That space at the bottom of noodle cups surely has a purpose, but what could it be? It's for protecting the noodles using a technique called middle suspension, not to give you less. Notice how they're rarely broken compared to packets? Not only less likely to break, but it also helps those tasty noodles soften more evenly and quickly. I would have never guessed that. I certainly don't miss when my professor used to write notes in the margin of my notebook. Little did most of us know that it wasn't its purpose at all. They're an old practice for rat protection. Rats used to nibble on the paper of the books, so they invented the column so that the writing would be safe if the little animals got hungry. Maybe the rats just also had homework and wanted to take some paper home instead. Above the inside of car doors, you'll usually find a handle. Its purpose isn't just something to hold on to when someone drives like a rally car driver. These handles are actually very useful to someone with limited mobility trying to get in and out of the car. The driver's door often lacks a handle, but one of the possible reasons makes sense. The steering wheel itself can function as a handle if needed. Probably be hard to get in with the limited driver space using a handle anyways. Have a look at how your zipper sits the next time you've put on a pair of pants, shirts or skirt. If it's in an upward position, you might be unlucky and have it unzip at a bad time. Push the little zipper tab downwards and it will automatically lock. No more embarrassing moments for me anymore. Those ridge lines on toothpicks aren't there to make it fancy. They're designed to break off. After snapping the tab off, you can then replace it as a holder for your toothpick. Now it won't touch the table and get all dirty. Remember to put the pointy end down on it. I shouldn't have had to say that, but you never know. A pencil mistake was easy to fix. You just used the pink side, right? With ink though, you just turned the eraser around for the blue part, but it just seemed to wreck the paper instead. That's because the blue part was also for pencil mistakes. It was made for thicker pages like art pages or for when the softer pink side couldn't get the job done right. The number of pages I destroyed before I found this out is crazy. Really need that gaming fix, but your internet is down? Google has you covered. Instead of panicking, press that spacebar when you see the little pixelated dinosaur next to the unable to connect to the internet or no internet display instead of a web page. Dodge those obstacles and get a high score. This little Easter egg has become a beloved game. Be careful, it's addictive. Speaking of, where's my phone now? During the colder months, putting on a beanie is normal to avoid having your head from freezing. That fluffy pom-pom on top must be how they get rid of all that extra material. Well, you can thank the French sailors for that on top, to stop them from banging their heads on the low ceiling of the ship. A little warning that they were a little too close to the roof. The design changed into what we know now today, and that's how the cute little pom-poms ended up on our beanies. Pay attention to any watch advertisement and you'll notice that the time displayed should be 10 past 10. Apart from looking a little like a smile, the brand name of the watch is usually directly below the 12, so it draws more attention to it. Isn't it weird how every clock face seems to be advertised that way? I wish it was the smile reason though. The diamond leather patch on backpacks isn't just a weird decoration, it's there to hold your joggers or other items as well. Backpacks are made for the outdoors, and with so many pockets to hold water bottles, pens, maps, and occasionally a tiny dog, it makes sense to have your muddy joggers on the outside of your bag rather than in it. I prefer its other name, Pig Snout. Pouring milk out of a carton can sometimes lead to accidents, but there's no need to cry over spilled milk. Try this simple trick that will confuse you. Turn the carton around and pour that way. It may seem weird, but you'll actually never get that clogging effect ever again when you try it. We've all done this one. Pulled some plastic wrap to then have the roll jump out of the box as well. Instead of being frustrated, my friends, here's something we've all missed. There are little cardboard tabs on the sides that can be pushed into to hold the tube inside, making it easy to glide the film out. Mind blown! Elevators have many tricks to them. Some we can use like pressing the floor button twice to turn it off, or if you're lucky, holding the closed door button and your floor together to go right there. But what about that secret hole that looks like an air hole in the outside door? Is it used by spies or secret agents? As cool as that would be, it's simply a hole for maintenance people to open and fix any problems. I'd prefer the secret agent to use it, but at least we know what it's for now. Next time you're on a plane, look above each window and you'll notice some little triangles sitting above some of the windows. They're to show the flight crew the best spots to view the plane's flaps through the window. Not because the designer thought triangles were cool. Sitting between the wings puts you in the direct center of the plane and offers the smoothest possible ride if you get airsick as well. That's where I'm going to sit on my next flight. Those Escalator brushes are really great at brushing off any dirt left on your shoes, but they're not there for that, even though I must say that they do a good job at it. These bristles are a big safety feature. Loose clothing, shoelaces, and bags can get sucked into the machine when they're too close to the sides. The job of the little brushes is to tickle you or make a loud sound against the fabric. This is meant to alert to move away from the edge and not see what the inside of the machine looks like. I always thought it was a spider crawling on me, so they obviously do a good job to keep your feet away. That's it for today. See you next time, Brightsiders.
If you have a cat, congratulations on living with an adorable little creature. Ahem. I mean, a vicious top carnivore. As much as cats like to pretend they're the rulers of the roost, stealing beds from Great Danes 10 times their size and knocking over expensive vases, to us, they're just ridiculously funny and precious fluffy kittens. So don't tell your cat I told you this, but there's actually something very cute and hilarious on the bottom of its paws. If you look at the pads of their feet upside down, the heel pad looks a lot like a person's nose. It's even funnier if you picture the fur around the pad as a bushy mustache. If you look at a map of Australia for a long time, you might start to think the shape reminds you of something. What is it? Try to see it before I tell you. Can you put a finger on it? Picture it like this. The two peaks in the north around the Gulf of Carpentaria are ears. The western curve is a snout, and the eastern curve is a neck. The island down below, which is Tasmania, even has a tag, like that on a dog's collar. Do you see it now? Yeah, Australia looks strangely like an outline of a dog. The FedEx logo might seem simple at first, just the company name and nothing else. But once you've looked closer and spotted a hidden detail, it's impossible not to think, that's clever. In the negative space between the E and the X, there is actually an arrow pointing to the right. The logo's designer said that the arrow could hint at the direction, speed, and precision. The clever use of the negative space has won the logo several awards. It was even included in the list of 20 designs that define the modern world. It was called one of the happiest accidents in the history of graphic design. Because it was, in fact, an accident, the designer said farthest from our minds was the idea of an arrow. It wasn't even noticed until the design firm had developed over 400 versions of the logo. But that's not surprising, because it's said that perhaps less than 1 in 5 people find the hidden arrow without it being pointed out to them. Did you see it before I told you? That's not the only example of an arrow hiding where you might not see it. On exit signs, there's also a negative space arrow in between the E and X. That's surely a fun little detail you can point out to your friends next time you see an exit sign at a college or a movie theater. But there's actually something more interesting about these helpful signs. Have you ever seen the kind of exit signs that are mounted on clear glass? They're very common in office buildings and schools. But how could they possibly say the word exit in the correct direction on both sides, even though they're see-through? Shouldn't one side be read backward? Well, actually, what's happening here is a clever optical illusion. It's not clear glass at all, but instead, it's a mirror. There's an opaque lens between the two sides, so you can't see through to the other side at all. The reason why this goes unnoticed is because of where the signs are usually mounted. Up high, near the ceiling of office buildings, there's no chance of catching your own reflection or something else that would give it away. Plus, the ceiling walls tend to be very monotonous, with tile patterns that look the same on both sides. As you move, your perspective keeps the reflection lined up with what you'd expect to see on the other side. But next time you see an exit sign that appears clear, look closer. You'll see that the tiles or molding won't line up perfectly, giving away this clever trick of the eye. Pom-poms on beanies and other hats might just look like fluffy decorations, but they were put there for a smart reason that had nothing to do with looks. Rumor has it that French sailors developed the idea to wear hats with pom-poms so that they wouldn't hurt their heads. During bad weather, their ships would rock and jerk suddenly, so hitting your head on the low ceilings was a big issue. Sewing pom-poms to the tops of their hats was like adding a soft cushion to protect them from knocks and bumps. Have you looked closely at your coins? Many are ridged along the edges, and there's a reason for this. Ridge patterns on coins are a relic of the past when precious metal coins would be just as valuable as metal as they were as currency. Remember, some of them were actually made of silver and gold. That's why some sneaky rogues would shave off the edges of coins and use that metal to mint new coins. After that, they would spend the shaved coins as usual. So, the ridges were added so it would be obvious that someone had shaved off parts of a coin. Speaking of coins, there's a subtle pattern on English ones that most people don't pay attention to. On the 6 small coins, there are patterns that don't seem to mean anything, but when you lay them out in the right order. With the 5-pence coin in the center, you'll see the full picture, which is one big crest. You can also see the whole crest on the pound coin, but it's much more fun to put the puzzle together yourself, isn't it? The Toblerone chocolate bar originated in a city called Bern in Switzerland. It's also known as the City of Bears, which explains why the branding of the triangular treat is designed with a sneaky secret. You'll barely believe that you never noticed it before. The logo, at first glance, appears to be a simple mountain, but it has another image hidden within it. In the negative space, there's a bear rearing up on its hind legs. Now that you see it, you'll notice it every time you reach for the candy bar for your sweet fix. On that sugary note, there's another chocolate logo with a detail most people won't spot. If you flip a package of Hershey's Kisses on its side, you'll notice there's a hidden shape of a kiss in between the K and the I. The K was specifically designed to curve in the same way the chocolates do. I bet that you wouldn't have spent a lot of time looking closely at your screwdriver and wrench, but if you have, you might have noticed that the shape of the handle of a screwdriver and the inside of a wrench are often the same, and that's on purpose. A lot of screwdrivers can be easily slid through a wrench so that they can be used to create more torque. If a screw is particularly stubborn, this secret design gives you much more force to turn it. This feature is especially helpful at complicated heights and angles. If your handy DIY friends haven't already noticed this, now is your chance to impress them with your eagle eye. Okay, right now, picture toothpaste in your mind. Imagine squeezing some out of the tube onto your brush. You're picturing it with blue, white, and red stripes, aren't you? Those stripes are so common that they're pretty much synonymous with the concept of toothpaste. But the truth is, there's no real reason for them. In the 1970s, the purpose of brushing your teeth changed a bit. Cleaning your mouth wasn't the only point anymore. People wanted something in the toothpaste to freshen their breath too. The first toothpaste companies answered the call by adding a blue stripe to their paste to show that it could do both. After people began paying more attention to the health of their gums, brands added a third, red stripe to show that their paste had triple action: cleaning, freshening, and plaque control. Even though solid white toothpaste offers the same benefits and the different colors aren't necessary, companies keep adding stripes to their paste because it still sells. When the founders of Baskin-Robbins, who were fittingly named Burt Baskin and Irv Robbins, first started in the sweet treats industry, each of them opened up his own shop. But being brothers-in-law, they quickly decided to join forces. And when they did, their shop had a unique selling point. They offered 31 flavors. This way, visitors could theoretically come back each day of the month and try a new flavor. The 31 flavors became an integral part of the company's roots, and to this day, there's a hidden reference to it in their logo. It's number 31 inside the B and R of the Baskin-Robbins logo. Even with the numbers in a different color, the clever design hides this secret so well that you probably haven't noticed it until now. But I understand if you were paying more attention to your ice cream than the brand's graphic design.
Did you know zippers have locks? Or that food containers have been designed to make your life so much easier? If only you knew how to use them properly. Well, get ready to find out the secrets behind everyday items you have certainly been taking for granted. Some airplanes have wings with upturned ends. But why? When a plane is soaring through the sky, air begins to spiral around the tips of the wings. This can cause something called drag. This means that the airplane has to work harder to move forward as the drag acts as resistance. The upturned ends, or winglets, reduce the amount of drag the plane experiences. This makes for a smoother, more efficient ride and improves the aircraft's stability. Many countries around the world have started to explore wind as a way to generate electricity. This involves using large turbines. These giant machines have massive blades which catch the wind. This makes them spin, generating power that can be added to the electrical grid. You may think those blades have smooth edges, like you would find on a fan, but they're not. They're actually covered in little pointy teeth called serrations, similar to what you would see on a saw. People living near wind turbines will appreciate these serrations. They not only reduce the noise as the blades spin, making them much quieter, but also reduce how far that noise will travel. Now, I'll bet you have a blender, and I'll also bet you use it incorrectly. When making a smoothie, for example, do you cram in all those healthy fruits and veggies and then cover them with your preferred liquid? Then you turn the device on, and it whines, struggles, and sounds like it might blow a fuse. Well, you are supposed to add all the liquids first. Then you can add the solids. The blades don't have to struggle as much to spin through the liquid. This creates a whirlpool effect, and the device is able to pull the solid food down and blend everything evenly. Your next smoothie will have fewer chunks. Yes, you are welcome. I know that with online banking, you are handling fewer checks. But next time you see one, take a close-up look at the signature lines on the front and back. No, closer than that. I think you might need to grab a magnifying glass. Those lines are really teeny-tiny words. Called microprinting, they make it harder for people to print fake checks. This will be indicated on the check with the letters MP, often near where the signature goes. The words that make up these lines can be anything from authorized signature to original document. Most printers are unable to reproduce the microprinting, making it easier to detect a fake check. Hand sanitizer is everywhere these days. Yep, nothing gets past me. And though it's great at keeping your fingers free of germs, it's actually much more useful than you think. Some of us have made the mistake of using a permanent marker on a whiteboard. Guess what? It doesn't come off. But grab your hand sanitizer and it can lift that stubborn mark. It can also help with cleaning windows, sunglasses, and mirrors. Do you have a magic key fob for your car? Most fobs are designed to lock and unlock your car doors. Some even allow you to start your car from a distance. But there's one feature some fobs have that you would never know unless you read the manual. And who has time for that? To see if you have a special fob, hold down the unlock button for a whole 2 seconds. For some car brands, this will open the windows of your car. This allows you to access your car if there's ever an issue with the door locks or to let out hot air on a summer day. You might have noticed a hole along the side of the shaft or barrel of some ballpoint pens. This is designed to handle pressure. The hole ensures that the internal and external pressure is the same, which allows the ink to flow freely into the tip. If these pressures were different, the ink could become stuck inside, making the pen useless. Another hole you might see is at the very top of a pen's cap. This is a new development, with companies adding it in 1991. First, it helps keep the ink from drying out. Yay! Second, it ensures that if you accidentally swallow it, the cap will not completely block your airway. You'll still be able to breathe while seeking help. Double yay! But maybe think about stop putting caps in your mouth in the first place. Speaking of holes, some shoes are designed with 2 extra holes, or eyelets. They're located near the arch just above the sole of the shoe. Everyone assumes they're there to help your feet breathe and keep sweating, and the resulting smelliness to a minimum. But you're actually supposed to use them when lacing up. They allow you to get a tighter, better fit and reduce the chances of spraining your ankle. Some people prefer to drink soda from a glass bottle, arguing that it tastes better. Whether or not this is true, the bottle does have a unique design feature that most people completely ignore. It's that long, tapered neck. Heat transfers from the hand. If you hold the bottle around the thicker body, you are warming the contents inside. Warm cola? No thanks. You should be holding on to the long neck instead. This way, your drink will stay colder longer. Hungry? Who doesn't like some delicious Chinese takeout? Here's a shocker. Those sturdy containers the food comes in can actually be turned into plates. First, grab the creases on the sides of the packaging. Slowly pull these apart. Push the corners down to flatten the box. This is ideal for rice and noodle dishes, but not so good for soup. Another surprise? Chinese takeout containers were not invented in China. They were created in 1894 by Frederick Weeks Wilcox, a man from Chicago. He called his creation a paper pail and was inspired by Japanese origami when he designed them. As Chinese food gained in popularity in America, these paper pails were used for delivery and takeout, and eventually became associated with this particular style of cuisine. Now, when it comes to dessert, or breakfast, or both actually, a popular choice is a donut. But people often wonder about the hole in the center. Wait, another hole? You bet! Although it's hard to know who exactly invented the hole in a donut, some stories give credit to a sailor named Hanson Gregory. It was 1847, and Hanson was only 16 years old. At the time, he was working on a lime trading ship. The deep-fried cakes served on board were nice and crispy on the outside, but undercooked and doughy on the inside. He suggested adding a hole in the middle, which would allow the batter to cook evenly. The modern donut was born. Hansen is now my personal hero. Of course, with all that food, it'll make doing up your pants a little harder. Luckily, most zippers now have locks. A locking mechanism, which often looks like a little pin or bump, was added to help keep the zipper done up. When you position the pull tab flat along the teeth, the pin hooks in place and the zipper can't move. When you lift the tab, it becomes unlocked and you can easily open and close it. Now, why are the letters on the computer keyboard in such random order? This feature dates back to when manual typewriters were used. Initially, the keys were placed in alphabetical order, but this way, people were able to type too quickly for the machine to handle. Levers associated with certain letters would often get jammed together. The QWERTY keyboard, which is the one we still use today, was designed to slow people down and reduce the chance of hitting two keys that might jam. The QWERTY keyboard may no longer be essential, but we have become used to it. Now, feel the F and J keys on your computer. Each of these has a little bump on it. These are known as homing bars, and the F and J are called position keys. They were designed to help you properly place your hand when typing without having to look down at them. This allows for touch typing, when you use your muscle memory to remember where each key was. For it to work, you have to put your fingers in a specific position before starting. This means ASDF for the left hand and JKL for the right hand. This is especially useful if you have to transcribe something for your job. You can read the original and type it out without slowing down to look at your keyboard. Even the human body has its own little secrets hiding in plain sight. On your fingers, at the base of each nail, there's something called a cuticle. Many people think it is just a bit of extra skin, and they cut or trim it, often when getting a manicure. But the cuticle is there to protect the nail from becoming infected by bacteria or fungus. By removing it, you are leaving your fingernails exposed. If you really want the look of a longer nail, you can gently push the cuticle back towards the base of the nail. It can still do its job, and you can still get that funky nail art you always wanted. Look at this emoji. Many people use it as an angry face to show they're mad. But originally, this emoji was called Look of Triumph. It was supposed to indicate that a person has succeeded in something. Now, so many people have been using this emoji in a different way, the new meaning is also acceptable. Many people use these folded hands to beg for something. In reality, this is a gesture of forgiveness used by Japanese people. To some Americans, it also means a high five. Some people think this emoji is blowing a kiss, but in reality, it's not. The kissing emoji looks the same, but has a little heart near its lips. As for this one, this emoji is actually whistling. This emoji has many meanings, but boredom isn't one of them. It stands for either skepticism or irritation, but in most cases, it's just a side eye. Unlike what many people think, it's not a face screaming in shock. It's a face screaming in fear. It's not a ballerina. It's a person making the OK gesture. You might have been using this emoji to show some sass, but originally it was meant to be way simpler. It was just an information desk person. You probably use it as the peace sign, but initially this emoji was supposed to mean victory. Now, forget about emojis. There are many more things in life that can be done in a more effective way than people usually do. For example, eating an apple. Most people eat this fruit side to side, but this way 30% of it gets wasted. A much better way is to start from the bottom and work all the way to the top, spitting the seeds in the process. To prevent your taco from breaking and stop the food from falling down, wrap it in a cabbage leaf. It'll hold everything in place, and you'll enjoy all the parts of your taco without wasting any food. If you want to have some iced coffee, don't put any ice made of water in your cup. This will make your drink taste watery, especially when the ice melts. Instead, freeze some coffee and make coffee ice cubes. Use them to make your drink cold. Instead of stirring a cup of coffee or tea in a circular motion, use back and forth movements. This reduces the number of splashes and the amount of the beverage that ends up on the table. Also, it looks way more elegant. You can easily prevent your juice from splashing while you're pouring it into a glass. Instead of pouring it straight from the opening, flip the juice carton around. This way, the flow will be much smoother and the juice won't be spilling all over the place. If you want to know how to peel a banana in the most effective way, watch a monkey. You'll notice that the animal peels it not from the top to the bottom, but from the bottom to the top. This way, you won't squeeze the fruit. There's no need to damage your nails trying to open a pistachio nut. Instead, just use the shell of another one. Put it in the little hole and turn it around. Pink sushi ginger isn't meant to be used as a topping. You're supposed to eat this ginger in between taking bites of your sushi rolls. It'll help you distinguish the unique taste of each of them. When eating a pizza, fold its pieces a little bit to create a U shape. This way, it'll be easier to munch on it. If you're going to drink out of a soda can, you better use a straw. The top part of the can has many bacteria on it. If you drink your soda by raising the can to your lips, they'll get into your mouth. Also, if you drink soda without a straw, your teeth are more exposed to the sweet drink. It leads to a higher risk of cavities and the appearance of dark stains on your teeth. Any soda has a hole in its pull tab. After opening the can, turn the tab around and put the straw into the hole. This way, your straw will remain in place. To cut bread more easily, turn it upside down and start from the bottom. Don't neglect washing your feet thoroughly when taking a shower. The foamy water sliding down your legs is not enough. Dermatologists say you should scrub your feet every day to prevent the spread of bacteria. Another thing most people forget about is washing the back of the neck. This body part can sweat a lot, especially if you have long hair that covers it. Opt for washing your hair before moving to your body. Hair conditioner that isn't properly washed off can cause skin problems. So first, wash your hair, apply the conditioner, soap yourself up, and then rinse off the conditioner and body wash at the same time. After taking a shower, don't leave your loofah sponge lying out there. The moisture in the bathroom makes bacteria on the loofah spread faster. Take your sponge and let it dry outside. Also, make sure to wash it in a washing machine once a week. Try to avoid brushing your teeth right after a meal. It damages the enamel, protective layer covering your teeth. In the morning, consider brushing your teeth before breakfast. If you want to do it after your meal, then first rinse your mouth with water, then wait for about 40 minutes before getting down to brushing your teeth. Brushing your hair from top to bottom can damage it. You should first gently brush the ends of your hair and slowly work your way up to the top. Bobby pins are supposed to be worn with the wavy side facing down. This way they'll hold your hair better. Some earrings have transparent plastic pieces attached to the part that fixes the earring to your ear. You're supposed to remove these pieces before putting the accessory on for the first time. To open tough plastic packaging, just use a can opener. Don't store glasses upside down. The rim of a glass is its most fragile part. When you put it upside down, it carries the weight of the whole glass. With time, the glass is more likely to break. After cooking, many people wait for the food to cool down a bit before putting it in the fridge. But in reality, nothing bad will happen either to your food or to the fridge, even if you put a plate with something hot inside. It's even better because it's not safe to keep most dishes out of the fridge for too long. Instead of cleaning a dirty blender by scrubbing and washing it with your hands, just fill it with water, add some soap, and press start. It'll wash itself perfectly. Just don't forget to put the lid on, or you'll wash your face too. Never refill a plastic bottle. The material they're made of contains a dangerous chemical called BPA. It leaches into the water and grows harmful bacteria in the cracks of the bottle. It's better to buy a reusable water bottle. If you want to cross out a word so that it's not readable anymore, don't use straight lines. That'll leave the text visible. Instead, write some other letter or curls over the word that you want to hide. This way, it'll be next to impossible to figure out what was written there. It's better to apply deodorant at night before going to bed. At this time, your body is less likely to sweat. Don't apply it right after the shower, though. Deodorant works more effectively when applied on dry skin. You don't need to keep a pile of printed manuals that go together with your gadgets. Just go to the company's website, find your product, and download its digital manual to your computer. While packing, roll your clothes. It'll save you a lot of space. If you want to keep your hands clean when eating some extra cheesy snacks or chips, try eating them with chopsticks. The best way to freeze ice cream, if you want it soft, is to put the container in a Ziploc bag and only after that into the freezer. The bag will also prevent your ice cream from absorbing the freezer smell. So grab your phone. Good, now turn it around. You see that little dot between the camera and the flash? That's a tiny microphone. Bet that's something you didn't know. What's it doing there? Well, when you're on a phone call, this little guy is busy at work reducing the amount of background noise other people hear when you talk. That's right, if it wasn't for this, calls wouldn't be as nearly as crisp as they are now. You're lost in the woods and you're rushing to get back to camp. You suddenly remember you've got something that can help. You grab one of your chest straps from your backpack and whistle on it. Yup, that's right. A lot of bags have this feature in them, especially the ones made for the outdoors. It isn't long before you hear the call of one of your friends and you follow them back to the warm campfire, saved by this cool bit of design. If you're a curious person, you might have wondered what that little pocket in your jeans is doing there. You know, the one that's inside the bigger pocket? People often use it to store coins and bills, but it's not meant for that. It's actually designed to store your pocket watch safely. Ah, maybe that's where the name pocket watch comes from. You finally arrive home after a long day's work. You understandably don't feel like cooking, so you sit on the couch and watch a bit of TV and order some takeout. How about Chinese? Ah, perfect. There's the doorbell. That has to be your food. It smells delicious. Wait, before you grab the plates, do this instead. Open your Chinese food container on the table. It becomes the perfect plate, and it's cardboard, which means no cleaning either. The can of soda you got with your food has a cool feature too. Look at the tiny metal tab there, the one you use to open the can. Guess what? You can fit your straw in there. In fact, that's exactly what they're made for. Go ahead, try it for yourself. If you're not at your computer, take a look at your keyboard right now. If you're not, that's okay. Here's one on the screen. The keycaps are arranged in what's called the QWERTY layout, named after the first 6 keycaps below the numbers. As it turns out, it wasn't always this way. They used to be laid out alphabetically, which would make more sense when you think about it. The alphabetical layout fell out of use because long ago there were things called typewriters. Remember those? You press down a key and a type bar would fly out, hitting an inked ribbon and stamping a letter on the piece of paper. Eventually, typists got good at this and typed faster. Too fast. The type bars would eventually get caught in a log jam with each other, ruining the flow. To fix this problem, they made keyboards with randomized keycaps. The new layout actually worked better because it made typing harder, helping to slow typists down and prevent the type bars from getting stuck. Much better. Today, no type bars, no typewriters, mostly. People are still fast nowadays, but you just can't help but wonder who was faster though, us or them. Keyboards have another hidden feature too. Have you ever noticed that the F keycap and the J keycap have little bumps on the bottom of them? As it turns out, they're there to help people figure out where they are on the keyboard without having to take their eyes off the screen. Grabbing a takeaway cup of coffee at your favorite cafe might be just what you need to fully wake up in the mornings. When you get back home or to work, though, you might be afraid to stain your desk when you put the steaming hot coffee down. Worry not, your plastic lid isn't only good for keeping your coffee hot, it also doubles as a coaster. In fact, they're the perfect size to hold a cup. Try it for yourself. This one's going to come in handy if you're a home cook. If you're like me, you might have a bit of trouble deciding how much pasta you need for just one serving. Well, if you've got a pasta scoop, grab that. Most people don't know what the little hole in the middle is for and assume it's supposed to help with water drainage or something. It turns out that it helps you measure out a perfect serving. Just see how much dry spaghetti you can fit in the hole and use that as one portion. Out at the store buying coat hangers, you might notice that the plastic ones feel cheaper than the wooden ones. There's a good reason for this. Wooden hangers are made out of cedar wood. The big difference between the two is that the wooden ones repel bugs and moths. They're stronger and last longer too, perfect for things that might stay in your closet for a long time. When you brush your teeth, you might have noticed that your toothbrush has blue bristles. They're not just there for show. In fact, they're there to tell you when it might be time to switch toothbrushes. These bristles lose their strength and color when the brush has been worn down, letting you know that it's time to get rid of it. Microwaves often look a bit like mini TVs, especially ones where you can clearly see the black film around them. This is actually a really important feature that's used to keep the radiation from slipping away. They're called Faraday cages, if you want to get technical. This is why you can stand next to a microwave without melting into a puddle. That's not to say you should stand in front of the microwave and watch your food heat up, but at least you know you won't grow an extra ear or something. Okay, not really. Some ovens have a drawer under them. It's tempting to use this to store random junk you don't use often, but there's a better use for it. Instead, this should be used to help keep the food that's waiting to be served hot. You can take it out of the oven and store it right in this drawer, keeping your oven free for you to carry on cooking. Now, you're on a plane looking around trying to pass the time before takeoff. When you examine the window, you notice it has a little, very tiny hole on its bottom. Don't worry, it's not broken. It's there to relieve the pressure that builds up over time as the plane goes up and down. It also lets the air flow through it. Now, raise your hand if you've ever ridden on an escalator and scrubbed your shoes on its bristles. Hey, I'm guilty of doing that, maybe more than I should. It's not there to clean your shoes though. It's an important safety measure. It stops your shoelaces, clothing, and other stuff from getting stuck in there, avoiding a nasty scene when you go to get off. Sometimes a piece of fabric comes with your new clothing. It usually comes along with the extra buttons in a little plastic bag. You might think it's just a piece of fabric to use for future patching, in case you rip it. But that isn't its purpose at all. It's actually supposed to be put in the washing machine to test how it reacts to various washings. Now, you don't have to worry about shrinking your new expensive coat because you know how it'll react to the wash. Bubbles! Who doesn't love bubbles? Most people have fond memories with bubble blowers as a kid. But as adults, the closest thing we can get to recapturing that feeling is with bubble baths. After a hard day at work, there's nothing better than dipping into a nice warm bubble bath. Right, guys? And the bubbles do more than just clean you. If they're high-quality bubbles, they'll serve as a heat insulator, so they make sure that your bath stays warm for longer. Boxes of chocolate sometimes have these mysterious holes in them. When I'm eating a box, or two, I usually ignore them and take out the chocolate by pressing the bottom of the plastic. But it turns out that I've been doing it wrong the whole time. If you press one of the holes, the chocolate comes right out. I'm certainly going to start doing this from now on. Here's another one from the kitchen. The handle on a pot will often have a hole in it. Most people use this to hang them on a nail on the wall as an easy storage method. The hole has another use too. When you're cooking, you can use this handle to hold your wooden spoon or whatever else you might be cooking with. This makes sure you don't make a mess when you put it down. Glass bottles usually come with a cap in them. Well, duh. Otherwise, the liquid would just spill. In this cap, there's a plastic liner that seemingly has no purpose, right? Wrong. It's a seal. No, not a seal. A seal. It's the kind that helps keep your drink fizzy. Just the refreshment I needed. A lot of doorknobs are made out of brass, and it's not by chance. They're made out of this specific material because it's bacteria's worst enemy. That's right, it destroys them. Perfect for those who want to keep a clean house and avoid germs. Hey, you want a fish?
You must have noticed those lines on some kinds of chips. For one thing, they help with the distribution of spices and seasonings. In other words, all those substances that make your chips taste like cheese are mostly stored inside the lines. Plus, the lines make chips crunchier. Some cars have a tiny coffee cup sign on their dashboard. It's the vehicle's anti-drowsiness mechanism. There are manufacturers that equip their cars with a drowsiness detection system. It analyzes the speed, wheel angle, and lane deviations to figure out if it's time for the driver to take a break. If it is, the vehicle makes several audio signals and the coffee cup sign starts to flash. Some plastic milk containers have dents on their sides. These dents serve several purposes. For one thing, when milk spoils, this process usually causes swelling and high pressure buildup inside the container. That's when the dent comes in handy. It pops out and doesn't let the jug blow up. Plus, if you decide to freeze the milk, it will expand like any other liquid. And then again, the indentation will pop out and prevent the container from breaking inside your freezer. You might have wondered why jerry cans have 3 handles. It's a clever designer move. This way, if you carry the container alone, you can use only the central handle to distribute the weight evenly. But if your friend wants to help you out, each of you can grab the side handle. The first jeans had a problem. Workers and miners, who were the original jeans wearers, put too much pressure on the poor piece of clothing. As a result, the seams couldn't withstand the stress and tore. Tiny metal studs were invented to prevent this from happening. Sticky notes come off relatively easily because their adhesive is spread out across the paper unevenly, in small blobs. And only some of these blobs touch the surface of whatever you've stuck the note on. That's why when you unstick a Post-it and attach it to something else, it still works, until all the glue gets used or covered with dirt. Soda bottles are always filled in such a way that there's some space between the liquid and the cap. That's because soda contains carbon dioxide. It's a gas that can expand once a bottle is heated. If there's no gap in the bottle, it can break because of the pressure building inside. Also, when you open your drink, the gases go out in the form of bubbles, and the drink is likely to overflow. The gap helps with this problem too. Dental floss is super useful for your teeth, but it might be rather hard to operate. It regularly slips out of your fingers and tangles. To avoid these problems, tear off a piece of dental floss and tie its 2 ends together. It'll be much easier to use and won't hurt your fingers. Now, about those horizontal lines on plastic bottles. They help hold bottles up. Some bottles are produced from soft plastic. Without the lines, they wouldn't keep their shape. Instead, they would twist easily or even break. The soft round part under a soda bottle cap keeps the carbonation from escaping. Without it, your pop would go flat in no time, probably even before you buy it. If you don't have anywhere to put a toothpick after using it, break off its flat end at the first groove and place it on the table. Now, you can balance the used portion of your toothpick on the grooved part so that it doesn't have to touch the table. You can also make a makeshift stand for disposable chopsticks. They have a sort of lump on one side. Break that lump off before you split the pair. Now, when you want to take a sushi break, just place the stick on this stand. Donuts are shaped like rings because otherwise they might get overdone at the edges, but uncooked and gooey inside. With a hole in the center, both the outside and the inside get ready at the same time. Ever notice that layer of clear fluid in gel pens? It's called the ink follower, or stopper fluid. The gel in such pens contains pigment particles dissolved in a polymer solution. The gel should be thick enough to keep the pigment particles suspended, but also thin enough to flow first onto the ball and then the paper. The main task of the stopper fluid is to be a barrier to prevent the gel from evaporating or leaking out. Without this transparent fluid, your gel pen wouldn't function. The fluid always stays in one position and doesn't get dissolved with the gel. Neither does it move backward or flow out of the pen. Some button-down shirts have a button hidden on the back of the collar. Its main purpose is to prevent the tie from sticking out from under the collar. As for that locker loop on the back, you can use it to hang the shirt on a hook to avoid wrinkling it. Outer rings in zipper sliders, especially when two sliders are used together, are added so that you can connect them with a lock and keep sticky fingers away. Most ambulance cars have this word printed on the front of the vehicle. That's the word ambulance backward. It's written in reverse so that the driver in front of the ambulance can see the word properly in their rearview mirror. Then they can move out of the way and let the ambulance pass. Escalator brushes serve an important safety purpose. You might have heard that most accidents happen after people get their bags or clothes stuck in escalators because they stand too close to the sides. But when there are nylon brushes on both sides, you can't but keep your feet away from the escalator's skirt panels. The result? No accidents. The side holes in sneakers are for laces. Since sneakers were originally invented for basketball players, this interesting design allowed them to accommodate any player's foot. They just needed to lace their sneakers in the most comfortable way for them. The holes in the bottoms of your earphones allow air to circulate up and through the speakers. It helps to increase low frequencies, making the bass sound deeper. The quality of the sound also becomes much better. Ever been stranded with a cup of applesauce, but no spoon at hand? But each snack pack already has a built-in spoon. Several twists of the foil lid, and here you go. Diamond slits on backpacks were originally placed only on traveler bags. Their purpose was to carry ropes. These days, you can find such slits on almost every backpack. Why not use them to carry a bottle of water, an umbrella, or a pair of sneakers? Highlighters are filled with a special semi-transparent fluorescent ink that can glow in dim light. Yellow and light green hues are the most popular because they don't prevent you from seeing the text after black and white photocopying. Photocopiers perceive yellow and light green marks as almost non-existent and don't print them. A stop sign has an octagonal shape to help drivers recognize it easily, even if they see it from the back. When the signs weren't reflective yet, this shape prevented drivers from confusing the stop sign with any other at night. The number 57 on a Heinz ketchup bottle has nothing to do with the product label. The truth is that the place with the numbers is the very sweet spot you should tap to get the ketchup flowing. So stop hitting the bottom of your sauce bottle and hit 57. Lots of private houses have triangular-shaped roofs because this allows rain, snow, and fallen leaves to slide off the slope. If all this stuff piled up on top of your house, one day your roof would collapse. Airplane windows have rounded edges, and that's a crucial safety measure. It prevents aircraft accidents. Weak spots are usually situated in the corners. If airplane windows were square or rectangular, each of them would have 4 potential weak spots. Under pressure, they would collapse.